Sir Topham Hatt's engines love being shiny and clean. It makes them feel cheerful as they puff across the island of Sodor. Percy often has the dirtiest work to do, but he likes to be clean as well as any other engine. Washdowns are important to Percy. But Sir Topham Hatt had bad news. "Due to a water shortage," he said, "no engine shall have more than one washdown a day. Usefulness before cleanliness," he added, and left. Percy was upset. "I get dirty," he complained. "I need washdowns. Gordon only does it to feel important." "I am important," Gordon sniffed. "I'm an express engine." "You're a pouty puffer, Percy," teased James. "No, I'm not," wheezed Percy, and he chuffed away. Percy was loading freight cars at the docks. He was trying extra hard to stay clean, but the troublesome trucks were being naughty. As Percy pushed them under the coal chute, they sang out. On, they cried. Percy found himself under the chute, and coal dust flew everywhere. "Oh no," coughed Percy. "I'm filthy." Percy felt awful, but he knew he had to carry on. On the way to Callan Station, the troublesome trucks teased Percy even more. "Clickety-clack, don't look back, dirty Percy's on our track." "Be quiet," Percy snapped. When Percy arrived at Callan Station, he was very upset. "From now on, I am only doing work where I won't get dirty." Harold the helicopter was at Callan Station picking up medical supplies. "Hello, Percy," he called. And he took off blowing cinders and ashes everywhere. "Not again," cried Percy. "I want a washdown." "Usefulness before cleanliness," reminded his driver. "I want to be useful where I can't get dirty," Percy huffed. "There's a load of sugar going to the chocolate factory," his driver said. "We could take the sugar cars." "Sugar," said Percy. "That's nice and clean." Percy was pleased. Percy didn't know that earlier a leaky freight car had spilled oil on the track. When he approached the chocolate factory, his driver applied the brakes. But Percy's wheels just skidded on the oily rails. "Oh no!" hooted Percy. "Yuck!" he groaned. "I've never been this dirty." He was covered from funnel to firebox in sticky, gooey chocolate. Back at the sheds, everyone thought it was very funny. "You look good enough to eat," Thomas hooted. "Bonbon Percy," teased James. "Chalk ice on wheels," chipped in Henry. "Disgraceful," said Gordon pompously. "Ahem," said a stern-sounding voice. It was Sir Topham Hatt. "You have had a trying day, Percy," he said. "Yes, sir," replied Percy from beneath the chocolate. "But you've showed us all that usefulness does come before cleanliness. So," he added, "you shall have your washdown." "Oh, sir!" "And a new coat of paint." Percy just beamed. engines on the island of Sodor love the summer. Sir Topham Hatt arranges lots of concerts. Music can often be heard drifting through the air. The engines do enjoy it. One morning, the engines were very excited. Allicia Botti, the famous singer, was coming to the island of Sodor. "She's a coloratura," said Gordon importantly. "What's a coloratura?" asked Thomas. "It means she can sing high notes very, very loud. Sir Topham Hatt will choose me to collect her," boasted James. "I'm the brightest and the shiniest." "Nonsense, I'm the most important," huffed Gordon. Thomas wanted to feel important too. "He might choose me," he said hopefully. "Well, one thing's for sure," said Gordon. "He won't choose Dirty Percy." "Don't call me Dirty Percy," he chuffed crossly, and he wheeshed away. But the next day, Sir Topham Hatt didn't choose Gordon, and he didn't choose James. He chose Thomas. "Make sure Annie and Clarabelle are squeaky clean," he said. "Yes, sir," said Thomas proudly. He felt very important indeed. "Move aside, Dirty Percy," chuffed Thomas. "I'm the important engine today." "But I need a washdown," wailed Percy. "My passengers will laugh at me." "But I have to be squeaky clean," huffed Thomas. "So you'll just have to wait." "I can't wait," grumped Percy. "I'm a guaranteed connection," and he chuffed away. Soon Thomas was shiny and squeaky clean. He felt more important than ever. But as the workers coupled Annie and Clarabelle, they heard a strange sound. "What's that?" asked Thomas anxiously. His driver quickly oiled Annie and Clarabelle's undercarriage. "That should take care of the bothersome squeak," he said. On the way to the docks, Thomas heard the squeak again. He was worried. It didn't sound like his squeaky clean squeak. Thomas squeaked noisily into the quayside, where Allicia Botti was waiting. Sir Topham Hatt held Clarabelle's door open when, "A mouse!" Allicia Botti screamed. And she screamed and she screamed and she screamed. She screamed so loud and so long that windows broke all over town. "Definitely a coloratura," said Gordon. Allicia Botti was cross. "I can't possibly travel in coaches riddled with mice." Sir Topham Hatt was very embarrassed, and Thomas didn't feel important at all. Just then, Percy returned from his guaranteed connection. "Look at the little green engine," Allicia Botti exclaimed. "So sweet and dirty, like a proper steam engine." "But he's filthy," Gordon huffed snootily. "But I clean up nice," smiled Percy. He was glad somebody noticed. Allicia Botti boarded the train and Percy steamed away. He felt very proud. Later, Thomas saw Percy at the washdown. "I'm sorry I called you Dirty Percy," said Thomas. "You go first." "Thanks, Thomas. It feels good to be friends," said Percy. "But where is your mouse?" "You'll see," grinned Thomas. That night was Allicia Botti's concert. Her voice carried across half the island. Sir Topham Hatt had made the little mouse her very own home in the corner of Tidmouth Sheds, and Thomas named her Allicia. Sir Topham Hatt's engines are proud of how useful they are. It makes them feel important, but none of them feels more important than Gordon. "Watch out," Gordon wheezed. "You'll get my paint all sooty." "Pulling freight cars is a sooty job," teased Salty, "but then you wouldn't know." "Of course not," Gordon huffed importantly. "Express engines don't pull freight cars. It wouldn't be dignified." "Dinghy fried?" puzzled Percy. "What's that?" "Dignified," Gordon corrected. It means that someone's too big for his buffers," teased Salty. "Pah," said Gordon, and he puffed away. That evening, fog covered the island of Sodor. Everything slowed down, and soon the docks were packed with waiting freight cars. This caused confusion and delay. Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds. He was in a great hurry. "Henry, Thomas, and Percy," he said, "you must go to the docks immediately." "Yes, sir," they whistled. Then Sir Topham Hatt turned to the big blue engine. "You too, Gordon," he said. "I need a big engine to take the freight cars where they won't be in the way." "Freight cars?" huffed Gordon. He could not believe what he had heard. Gordon wasn't happy to be pulling freight cars. He waited impatiently while they were shunted into place. Hurry up, chuffed Gordon crossly. "Why the rush, Gordon?" asked Thomas. "If I must pull freight cars, then I'll show Salty how an express engine pulls freight cars," Gordon huffed. "Careful, Captain," Salty tooted. "You don't want to get too big for your buffers." But Gordon ignored Salty. The next morning, Gordon raced along with his heavy load. "Now this is how you pull freight cars," he puffed. But the signalman had accidentally left the points switched to the branch line. Gordon rattled through the junction. "That's strange. I'm on the branch line." "Oh no," the signalman cried. "Express trains aren't supposed to go that way." But it was too late. Gordon had already raced into the distance. The old branch line was weak and rusty. There were signs warning all the trains to go slow. But Gordon ignored the signs. "I'm an express engine. I don't go slow," he said. And he went even faster. The branch line couldn't take his weight, and the rails buckled. "Oh, help!" Gordon cried as he slid off the tracks and into a field. No one was hurt, but poor Gordon felt very undignified. "What will Sir Topham Hatt say?" he groaned. He found out soon enough. "Well, Gordon," said Sir Topham Hatt, "you wanted to show Salty a thing or two, and you've certainly done that. You've shown him how silly it is to ignore go-slow signs." "Sorry, sir," said Gordon, and he let out a sad wheesh of steam. Gordon was soon repaired and back at the docks ready for work, but he was very unhappy with himself. "Everyone makes mistakes," said Thomas. "Even you." "Salty's sorry he teased you," puffed James. "And I'm sorry I was too big for my buffers," chuffed Gordon. And all the engines gave a jolly toot. Even Gordon. Ben are quarry engines. They are twins. They play together. They shunt freight cars together. They even get up to naughtiness together. Wherever you find Bill, you will find Ben. Wherever you find Ben, you will find Bill. Sir Topham Hatt had come to inspect his quarry engines. He found that Mavis and Bill were in fine working order. "Unfortunately, Ben," Sir Topham Hatt said, "your buffers are damaged. You must report to the engine works immediately for a new set of buffers. Mavis, you will have to work with Bill until Ben returns." "Yes, sir," replied Mavis, and Sir Topham Hatt drove away. Ben was happy. "I'm going to get new buffers," he gloated to Bill. "Well, I should get new buffers too," Bill complained. "We're twins. We do everything together." "But you don't need new buffers," Ben teased. "You're only getting new buffers because you're so clumsy," snorted Bill enviously. "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "Will you two stop being crab pots?" Mavis scolded. "Now come on, Bill. We've got work to do." Ben couldn't wait to get new buffers. Later, Bill watched as Ben chuffed away to the engine works. He was green with envy. He wanted new buffers too. Bill returned to his job, but he wasn't thinking about work. All he could think about was Ben's new buffers. "Ooh," said Bill. Shit! "Be careful," said Mavis, "and stop thinking about Ben's new buffers." Bill tried thinking about birds. He tried thinking about trees. He tried thinking about anything but Ben and his brand new buffers. But it didn't work. "I want new buffers too," he cried. "Just be happy you're in good working order," said Mavis. "It's not fair," Bill huffed, and he wheeshed soot all over Mavis. "Bill!" gasped Mavis. "Oops, sorry," said Bill. Bill tried his best to get on with his work, but the troublesome trucks had spotted a chance for a tease. Poor Bill, he works, he suffers, while Ben, his twin, gets brand new buffers." "I might not have new buffers," he said, "but I still know how to biff troublesome trucks." "No!" Mavis cried. But it was too late. Ben puffed into the quarry with his shiny new buffers just in time to hear, "Bust my buffers!" cried Bill. "I think you have," said Ben. When Sir Topham Hatt arrived and saw Bill's broken buffers, he was not happy. "You've behaved badly, Bill," Sir Topham Hatt said. "Do you have anything to say for yourself?" "Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir," said Bill. "Before you get new buffers," Sir Topham Hatt continued, "I want you to think about what it means to be a responsible, reliable engine." "Yes, sir," answered Bill meekly. After Sir Topham Hatt had left, Ben rolled up to Bill with his new buffers gleaming. "They are nice buffers," Bill said. "Thanks," Ben said. "I'm sorry I teased you." "That's all right," Bill said. "I was naughty too." "Of course you were," said Ben. "We're twins." Sir Topham Hatt's engines love their work. Gordon likes pulling the express. Thomas likes his branch line. And Percy likes taking the mail. But none of them likes being a middle engine. It's no fun being stuck in the middle. One morning, Percy was cheerfully collecting coal cars from the smelter yards where Harry and Bert worked. They liked to play tricks on steam engines. Percy didn't want to fall for their tricks again. But before he knew it, he was stuck in the middle. "Oh, bother," chuffed Percy crossly. "Little green piggy in the middle," Harry teased. Percy's driver was cross. With coal cars in front of him and coal cars behind, Percy had to go slowly. James was in the yards when Percy steamed slowly by. "Ha ha, it's Pokey Percy," James laughed. "You wouldn't be laughing if you were stuck in the middle," Percy fumed. And he fumed all the way to the coaling plant. One by one, he shunted his coal cars onto the tipper's loading ramp and the coal was unloaded. Percy was not allowed to cross the loading ramp until the tipper had been turned off. It was against the rules. But as soon as his driver and fireman left, there was trouble. Henry arrived to pick up coal. He bumped into the coal cars, and the coal cars bumped into Percy. Percy was pushed onto the loading ramp. "Help!" cried Percy. Percy was hoisted up, tipped over, and brought back down again. After Percy was lowered back onto the ground, the manager was very cross. "You have caused confusion and delay," he said. "I'll have to report this to Sir Topham Hatt." That night, Sir Topham Hatt spoke severely to Percy. "I'm very disappointed in you, Percy," he said. "You know it's against the rules to go on to the tipper's loading ramp." "Sorry, sir," Percy said sadly, "but it wasn't my fault. It's because those diesels made me a middle engine." "Nevertheless, you will shunt freight cars in the yards until I can get to the bottom of this." "Ha!" said James, thinking no one could hear. "I could handle those diesels with bent buffers and a busted boiler." "Then you will do Percy's run to the smelter," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Yes, sir," said James. The next day, James arrived at the smelter. He was determined not to be tricked by Harry and Bert. "Hello, James," oozed Harry. "Come to learn a thing or two from those who know?" "Just get my freight cars ready and stay out of my way," huffed James importantly. "Yes, sir," Bert chimed greasily. James cheerfully backed up to his freight cars. He was certain he had fooled Harry and Bert, but he was wrong. "Little red piggy in the middle," chortled Harry. "Just like Percy," jeered Bert. "I am not like Percy," huffed James. "I'm not a middle engine, and I'm not moving." And he didn't. When Sir Topham Hatt heard the news, he sent Percy to fetch James. This made Percy happy. He buffered up to James and took him, along with all the freight cars, to the docks. "Right on time," said the manager. "But what is that big red engine doing in the middle?" "Learning," Percy replied. "Learning what?" "Learning to be a middle engine," Percy laughed. James covered himself in steam, hoping no one would recognize him. But it was no good. There was only one big red engine on the island, and everyone knows his name is James. It was early morning on the island of Sodor. Duncan was waiting for Peter Sam, who was bringing some freight cars for him, to take to Strawberry Grove. Duncan was also to take the headmaster and the new organ. While they waited, the headmaster played a lively tune. Peter Sam had steamed all through the night to bring Duncan his wagons. But as he approached the junction, a low-hanging branch knocked his whistle off. This meant he couldn't work until he got a new one. "I can't run on the tracks without my whistle," chuffed Peter Sam. "That would be too dangerous." "An engine's not an engine without a whistle," boasted Duncan. And just to prove it, he let off a big blast. But the rest of the engines just ignored him. Duncan chuffed away in a big huff. He was cross. "They're jealous of my fine whistle," Duncan huffed as he steamed through the countryside. He whistled at some sheep, but they were too busy eating grass to take notice. "Bah," said Duncan. "I need to whistle louder and longer next time." Soon Duncan approached a level crossing where Elizabeth, the quarry truck, waited with a farmer's prize bull. This time, Duncan whistled as loud and as long as he could. Said the bull. "Stop that nonsense, Duncan," Elizabeth called. Duncan carried on cheerfully down the track. But he hadn't noticed his whistle had come loose. Then Duncan saw Terence plowing a field. "He'll get the loudest and longest whistle yet," he chortled to himself. And he blew so hard, his whistle shot off like a mighty rocket and landed out of sight. Everyone searched for Duncan's whistle, but it was nowhere to be seen. "We're stuck," said his driver. "We can't move without a whistle. It would be too dangerous." "Leave it to me," the headmaster said. For the rest of the day, Duncan didn't make a sound. But the headmaster's organ did. As Duncan delivered his freight cars, the headmaster tooted the organ at every crossing and every stop. It alerted everyone just as well as a whistle would, although Duncan didn't think so. Finally, Duncan finished delivering the last of his freight cars. Duncan steamed quietly back to the junction as the headmaster played the organ. "Look," Rusty teased, "it's Duncan the musical engine." "Let's whistle along," said Rheneas. Whistled Skarloey. But Peter Sam, who had a shiny new whistle, felt sorry for Duncan. "You really did well to deliver your goods without a whistle," he said. "Do you think so?" said Duncan, cheering up a bit. "Absolutely," said Peter Sam. "Even though an engine's not an engine without a whistle." "Or an organ," chuckled the headmaster, and he tooted the organ. And all the engines tooted back, except Duncan, who just grinned.
Mainline engines always boast how big they are, superior by far. But little engines toil away from dawn to dusk, without a fuss or care. Just because we're small doesn't mean we don't stand tall, and we pull our weight like all the others do. You'll be surprised, in spite of our size, just what little engines can do. Little engines, little engines, little engines can do the biggest things. Little engines, little engines, little engines can do most anything. They'll carry on until the work is over. They'll carry on till the end. They're the smallest in the station, don't underestimate them. They're not such little engines after all. Bigger engines say little engines play all day, and we're not much use to anyone at all. But we're strong enough to deal with those trucks. That's what little engines are for. Little engines, little engines, little engines can do the biggest things. Little engines, little engines, little engines can do most anything. They'll carry on until the work is over. They'll carry on till the end. They're the smallest in the station, don't underestimate them. They're not such little engines after all. Thomas, Percy, Bill and Ben, you can rely on them. These little engines are the